What is up, YouTube? This is Fable Grimro. Finally bringing you guys my first Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile of the new format. And of course, it has to be Spellbooks. Now, Spellbooks, last format, were one of the most dominating decks because of this card, Spellbook of Judgment. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you ask, last format, this card carried a $100 plus price tag. And like heck, if I'm gonna, spend my money to get overhyped cards, that just ended up getting banned. So this deck was something that I played 2 formats ago. I played this deck a lot. Didn't play it at all last format. I went on playing other decks like Constellars and stuff because I was not able to get these at a good price. So, I finally got these like the week before they were banned. They were like super cheap too. So, but because of Spellbook of Judgment getting banned, a lot of people sort of wrote off Spellbooks as just being like, oh, they're okay, whatever. And they have proven to me to be still extremely effective this format. They kind of, I want to sort of take a step back, but they play a lot like they did before Judgment with some of the card choices, and just the play style is they have to grind a lot more than just the explosive Judgment plays. So, and they did get one new toy that came out last set in Judgment of Light. Or I don't say one new toy, but one main new boss monster that is extremely helpful and helps the deck a lot with power plays. So, let me run down the deck. Main deck, of course, we have 3 Magician. This is your Spellbook Stratos of the deck. Obviously, you play 3. 3 Priestess. One of my favorite cards in the deck. She was like the main boss when Spellbooks first came out. When Judgment came out, people either cut her to like a 1 of or didn't run her at all. But now with the way the deck plays, I still love her at 3 a lot. She can be a little bit cloggy if you don't have enough Spellbooks, but risks rewards. It's the power play with Priestess is so nice. Some people do cut her to 2, so if you want to run 2, I still love her at 3. Just because of some of the, she's amazing. She's Hyperion, and then with 3 Priestess, I run 1 Justice. Justice, during the turn that you activate a spellbook, you banish Justice to add a level 5 or higher Lighter Dark spellcaster, so your Priestess, and any spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. So you get a +1 off of Justice, and she helps set up for the Priestess play. 3 Temperance. This was a card that people first played when Spellbooks first came out, but then it sort of went by the wayside with Justice and some of the other stuff that was coming out. But now it's very much back in fashion because of the next card that I'll show you. But what you do with Temperance is, during the turn you activate a Spellbook spell card, you tribute her on the field to special summon 1 level 5 or higher Lighter Dark spellcaster monster from your deck, and you can't special summon during the turn that you activate this card. Or you can't special summon another level 5 or higher monster during the turn you activate this card. So, the new toy that I told you guys about is this guy, World of Prophecy. He's sort of the new boss monster, works very well with Temperance, is an absolute game changer if you get his effect to go off. So let me read for you his effect. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a spellcaster type monster or a spellbook spell card, so that's your Temperance or Spellbook of Life, you can target 2 spellbook spell cards in your graveyard, add those targets to your hand. Okay, so that's a nifty plus on summon. You cannot special summon other monsters during the turn you activate this card. Works very well with Temperance, that's fine. When you add cards to your hand by this effect, the adding 2 from your graveyard by his own effect, you can reveal 4 spellbook spell cards from your hand with different names to destroy all other cards on the field. So he is your spellbook Judgment Dragon, or spellbook, Black Rose almost, where you would have, your Secrets Master standard play in your graveyard. You have 2 books in hand, Temperance, Tribute Temperance, Summon World, get your 2 spellbooks back, reveal 4 from your hand, blow up everything else on the field. This card is extremely effective against a lot of the spam decks, back row heavy decks because of the loss of Heavy Storm. This thing just nets you so much advantage. So if you get this play off, you can definitely swing for game. He's 2,900, extremely huge. Not a lot can get over it. Very, very hot card right now. Very good card for the deck. And then 2 Veiler. Veiler's okay. I don't really use it as much anymore for the discard negate effect because there's just simply better cards right now like Phoenix Chain and Breakthrough Skill. But what Veiler does have going for it that those two don't is that she is a level 1 spellcaster tuner. And you can use her as your main tuner to give you synchro options for the deck. And with Spellbook of Life, you can use Life's level altering effect to summon out, a level 3 Veiler, level, 5 Veiler, something like that, level 4 Veiler, and then you can get different synchro options with her. So, very nifty card. Hand traps are always nice too. For the spells, of course, 3 secrets, 2 master, sort of the nice secrets follow-up play. So you go secrets into master, activate master, reveal another spellbook in your hand, copy secrets so you get 2 searches, helps fill the graveyard. 3 spellbook Library of the Crescent. This is sort of a holdover from the Judgment days because this card, people before trashed this card because it was terrible, and then they realized just how good this card is if you open with it. So the downside of this card is that it can be dead if you already sort of go your secrets whatever play, but if it's probably the best spellbook to open with. And what it does is if you have no spellbook spell cards in your graveyard, reveal 3 spellbook spell cards with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly adds one of them to your hand. So you put them face down, 3 with different names, put them face down, and then your opponent chooses one to randomly add to your hand. You can only activate this card if you have no other spellbook spell cards in your graveyard. You cannot activate any other spell cards except spellbook spell cards during the turn you activate this card, and you can only activate 1 per turn. So this card, it's very nice to open with because it's pretty much like this Secrets Master, Tower, Power, whatever you want to, Fate, whatever. One of them gets randomly added to your hand, and then you would go on your standard, Summon Magician, get Secrets, Secrets Master, etc., etc. So it's just another spell card you can play during the turn. Still very nice. 3 Spellbook of Fate. This is like your 1 card out to everything. If you have a spellcaster type monster on your field, you can activate one of the effects by banishing the same number of spellbook spell cards in your graveyard. 1, you get to bounce a spell or trap. 2 is a Book of Moon, and 3, you remove 1 card on the field from the game. One of the most versatile cards in the deck. Synergizes very well with some of the other cards, especially Spellbook of Eternity. The 1 card out to everything. I used to have it at 2, and I'm like, it's just too good of a card not to run at 3. So, 3 Fates. 2 Spellbook of Tower. This card is insane and lets you let spellbooks grind like no other deck there is. So they have the power play, the Priestess, the World plays, that kind of thing, but they also have the Tower plays where you can just sit there and just keep drawing cards and you can grind with the best of them. So during your standby phase, if you have a spellbook or a spellcaster type monster on your side of the field or in your graveyard, return a spellbook from your graveyard back to the bottom of the deck to draw an extra card during the turn. And then when it's destroyed, you can special summon a spellcaster type monster with level equal to or lower than the number of spellbook spell cards, including itself, in the graveyard. Probably like one of the best spellbooks that you have in the deck, and usually is where I want to end my sort of like spellbook search chain. So I go like Secrets, Secrets get Mastered, Master, I either get Fate or I would get this depending on what I have in my graveyard. So getting towered out early let you net insane pluses. 2 Eternity works very well with the 3 Fate and 3 Priestesses because it lets me nab banished spellbooks back to my hand, and also Eternity itself will go to the graveyard, so it gets spellbooks back into my graveyard. Also, an extremely nice card to copy with Master because it's a your normal spell card, so you can just get back banish 3, and you could Eternity, get back a Master, play the Master, copy the Eternity, get back something else you banished. Let you just get cards that you need. 2 Power. Give a spellcaster type monster plus 1,000, and then when that monster destroys a monster by battle, you can search for a Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. A lot of people are just running this card at 1, I see, and I don't know why, because I absolutely love this card. I think 2 is like the magic number for this card. It can absolutely win games. Even the plus 1,000, just to push for game, is really nice. Let you just get over anything you need to. Make sure, like, Weak Magician, a nice beat stick, get over something, search for a spellbook. Just more search, more power, very aggressive card. Very well. Spellbook of Wisdom, sort of the themed lance, where you can target one spellcaster type monster, and it can either be unaffected by spells or traps during the turn. Very good protection card. 2 is a very nice number. The 1 life, sort of the theme monster reborn. When you activate it, you reveal another spellbook, and then banish a spellcaster type monster in your graveyard. Special summon another spellcaster type monster in your graveyard, and its level is increased by the level of the banished monster. Will trigger World's Effect. Very useful with Veiler for going to the synchro plays, and also if the life would leave the field, the monster that it brings back will still stay. The only thing that I believe will change is the level altering effect. So it's not like a Call the Haunted or a Premature Burial or whatever, or something like that in that sense. So very good. And then 1 Dark Hole, 1 Book of Moon, and 2 MSTs are my non-spellbook spell cards. 2 MSTs just because this is a back row format. Dark Hole just because pluses and works very well with Wisdom. And Book of Moon is a nice, just versatile card. Doesn't really conflict with Crescent very much because I won't usually activate it during the turn. I just set it, and I can either book my opponent's monster, or it's also nice to book my own Magician, and I get to reuse his effect because he gets his effect when he's flip face up. And then in my trap lineup, 1 Compulse, 1 Torrential, 1 Bottomless. Pretty stable, standard stuff. Let's see here. Side deck. My side deck's really generic just because I've only played this so far at local, so I just kind of try to cover for everything. So you got your 2 Mirror Force for more back row protection and helps against swarm decks. 2 Breaker. This card used to be really good before Judgment, and without Heavy Storm he becomes extremely viable again because he helps just pop back row. I'm trying these things out, the Secret Village of the Spellcasters. I'm actually really not liking it because I cannot find a situation where I would want to put this card in. I'm guessing it does nothing against the mirror match. It's really been useless. I might cut this for like Royal Decrees or something else. I've been trying it, but it's not really working very well for me. 2 Maxis, because it absolutely shuts down some decks and nets you pluses. Soul Drain, very good against the, your Mermail matchup. A lot of stuff activates in Grave. Rivalry, shuts down a lot of other decks, like your Evil Swarms and stuff like that, as you run all spellcasters. Defissure, again, another shutdown card. Last Wednesday, I played against my friend. He was playing E-Dragons, and first turn Defissure absolutely shut him down. He could do nothing. And then 2 Kaiku. This guy used to be main back in the Judgment build, but he's still a very good option, so he's in the side. Also shuts down a lot of stuff. Extra deck, and now the extra deck for this deck is something that I honestly rarely go into. but it's still, you know, it's just options. You don't really need, your extra deck can be whatever you want to, pretty much. So I have the Scrap Dragon and Crimson Blader as my level 8 synchros, Ancient Sacred Wyvern, and Arcanite as my level 7 synchros. And I go into all these with the Veiler plays and like Spellbook of Life. So most of these are just options, but they're nice options to have. Tempest Magician as my level 6, Librarian as my level 5, and Mistbird Clausulus as my level 3. And of the synchros, he's probably the one that I go into the most, just because I can normal summon a Veiler with a Magician on the field, go to him. And he's 23 defense, and negates opponent's monster effects and reduces its attack to 0 until the end of the turn. It's pretty nice. So these are just sort of like options I do depending on the Veiler life plays, or if I you know, have a priestess on the field, so either Veiler go into one of these most of the time, or Veiler go into this. And then the other ones are just for coverage, just in case. So there's the Synchros and the Xyz, rank 7s, Gygosack, Master Blades, Big Eye, and Hierophant. This guy suddenly became extremely good again. He was just sort of like an iffy option because people were like, oh, well, Big Eye's better back in the day. But now without Heavy Storm, I actually summoned this thing against a Fire Fist player, and it sealed the deal for me just because I can, you know, Harpy's Feather Dust through their entire back row. And of course the rank 7 options because I run 3 Priestess. And then also rank 2 options because of the Magicians. So I have 1 Shining Elf. This is actually probably the one I go into the most, honestly, because he's a 1600 attack spellcaster and works very well with power. Daigusto Phoenix for damage, Gashi for defense and boosting, and Herald of Pure Light lets me get back a monster from my graveyard, and I can return a monster from my hand back to my deck. So usually I would summon this if I have a world stuck in my hand. So I would get back a Magician or something, or a Priestess from my graveyard, and return world back into my deck. So then I can use it with Temperance. Yeah, so that's my deck, guys. Let me know what you think. Rate, fix, comment. So far, I've played this deck 2 locals in a row, and I split top 2 first week, and then lost in top 4 the second week to Chaos Dragons, because I drew, you know, probably the worst that I could possibly draw. But it was okay, because out of my 1 pack that I won, I got an Ultimate Debris Dragon. So, even when I lose, I still win. It's kind of nice. So, let me know what you guys think of the deck. What can be changed. Peace out, YouTube.